This is where the fun begins.
But we've seen this movie before.
What's Sam Pittman known for?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Is the Arkansas athletic program cursed? But you never know what the loudest mouth in the fan base and his wild band of misfits are going to say.
I have a river of Kool-Aid for basketball.
It's time to step inside the Hawg Pen with your hosts, Razorback Zach and Marcus MC Carlton.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Inside the Hawg Pen. I am, of course, your host from the Central Arkansas Hawg Pen, Razorback Zach, alongside my buddy, my co-host, cohort, and every other nickname you think you can have, Marcus MC Carlton. What's up, buddy?
Hey, man. I feel like my lights are not working tonight. I feel like I'm in the dark somehow.
I felt about that earlier today. Got a huge, and I mean huge, show this evening. We're back on Wednesday nights, but we, MC, are not alone. So I'm going to dispense with the pleasantries and bring in who, well, I mean, do we call her the now former Mrs. Home Run Queen, or
number two on the all-time home run list now? So
number two, Braxton Burnside, easily former Arkansas Razorback great. What's up, Braxton? Welcome back to Inside the Hawg Pen.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for having me. I guess now it's former. That's my new name as of today.
All right. Well, so
when I reached out to you the other night, we had no idea what would transpire today with the ball game. But I mean, we're looking like geniuses right now with the way everything broke down. So I guess we have to thank Bri for that too, right?
Right. It was perfect timing. Couldn't have been any better. Gives me a great platform to say congratulations. Job well done. It's not finished. I have a feeling she has a lot more left in her tank, and we're just going to continue to see those numbers rise. So yeah, today was awesome.
Yeah, and then everybody's the home run has gone viral on Twitter. Everybody's talking about it and everything. But let's throw some love to her defense too, because that snag she made at first base and then crawled over to the bag. I mean, there's not many people that can make that play, and so we got to show some love to the defensive side of the ball as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then like the other side of that too, it's the very first inning, they get their leadoff man on. And I mean, immediately she makes that great play and shuts it down, and all the momentum is right back on our side. So yeah, defense was good too.
Yeah. So tell me from the player's perspective, what are you seeing from this team right now? What is it that just has everything clicking and going the way it should?
Gosh, they're just so fun to watch. I think everybody enjoys playing. You can tell the culture, the chemistry, all that makes a huge difference. They're very athletic. It's kind of funny. I talked to Coach Gasso before the season started, and he's like, well, we're not going to hit a lot of home runs. We're going to be like doubles, base hits. And then they're having like the season that they're having, which is amazing and good for them. But like they always find the long ball, that's just who Arkansas has been in the past few years. They always found a long ball. And then they have the people in the lineup that hit doubles. And like, you need all of that. And then on top of that, in the circle, they've been great. They've found a lot of success out of the freshmen to help Robin Herron out. And so, they're just clicking on all cylinders. Defense is really solid like it has been in the past. So yeah, they're an all around, all facets of the game, just very good.
Number one team in the country, but the 5 seed in the SEC tournament. I mean, I don't know that I've ever heard of that happening in any other sport, in any other league, where you're the number one team in the country in the polls, but you go into your conference tournament as the 5 seed.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's just a testament to how tough the SEC is. I mean, and just speaking of that, like they're ranked number one in the country because right now they're the number one team, but it seems like every weekend the number one team is just getting beat up on, like Texas will be number one and then they get beat by somebody in the SEC. And then Oklahoma's number one and they get beat by somebody in the SEC. And then Florida's number one and they get beat by somebody in the SEC. It's just weekend in and weekend out. It's a tough conference and everybody's beat up on each other. So it's hard to solidify, a number one for a length of time because everybody's beating up on everybody. And it's, a testament to how tough the SEC is, how good the competition is. It's just a tough league to play in. So yeah, number one in the country right now, but the number 5 seed because of how tough the regular season is for them.
If you're Coach Deifel right now after today's game and you're moving on in the SEC tournament, what are you telling the girls?
Gosh, just keep the gas pedal down. Don't let up. Obviously, they're in a really good spot to have a top 8 seed. So they're looking at hosting regionals, hosting supers already. But you obviously want momentum going into the regional and the super regional and like through this SEC tournament, and the pitching that they're going to see from here on out is going to prepare them for any kind of regional that they're put in. So yeah, just keep the foot on the gas pedal. And I think today, just taking away from today, they would like a little bit of a faster start. I think they were no hit through 5 innings, maybe, so getting a faster start. And, that would probably be the biggest takeaway from today. But it was kind of, I was telling somebody earlier, I was like, it's funny how the game comes back around to itself, because they had walked Bri the whole game. And then finally there at the end, they were made to pitch to her. Like the game, it's going to come back around. And you feel like that it always finds the right person at the right time. And that's exactly what happened today. But yeah, the only negative I have is a little bit of a faster start, but Coach Deifel, she is she's just such a good softball coach. So I'm sure she's telling them all the right things.
Is it go ahead, Zach, because I got one I'm going to save for later.
All right. According to Coach Deifel made a comment that the SEC this year was a step up from where it was a year ago with the competition level, with all these teams pretty much on an equal playing field. When you look at the SEC as a whole, outside of Arkansas, who presents the greatest challenge in the SEC tournament to Arkansas?
Well, I think it has to be Oklahoma. And, they lost a lot of players, but they still have the history. They have the history of being there and doing that, although they have not done it in the SEC tournament because they just got welcomed to the conference this year. It's just the history part of it. It's being there. It's doing that. The staff knows all the right buttons to press at the right time because they've been there for, however many consecutive years now. Yeah. So, I think Oklahoma probably, is their greatest challenge right now. But at the same time, you're seeing some of these teams catch fire and get hot at the right time. So, looking at the schedule or at the season as a whole, I'm going to say Oklahoma, but some of these teams like an Ole Miss and a Florida catching fire kind of late and getting hot, they obviously can sneak up on you also, which is the great thing about this SEC tournament. It's an equal playing field at this point in time, and everyone's just playing to try to get a little bit of a better seed in the NCAA tournament.
So talking a little bit about that NCAA tournament, not to jump ahead, but to look at regionals and hopefully potentially super regionals. I mean, you played at Bogle. Talk about playing at Bogle in the postseason. I mean, how crazy can Bogle get?
If you're the home team, it's awesome. If you're the away team, I feel bad for you. I mean, it's the same thing at the baseball games, right? Like Baum gets crazy, Bogle gets crazy. Arkansas fans are amazing. It's awesome playing in front of your home crowd. You can't even see grass on the berm because there's so many people and kids out there just like absolutely having the time of their life at a softball game, which is amazing to see for the state. But it's a huge home field advantage there because the fans are awesome. They feel the stands. You feel their presence on the field. It's incredible. And hosting truly does make a huge difference. I mean, the statistics back it up. A lot of times, I don't know what the stats are, but a lot of times the home team comes out on top because you have that home field advantage, and the fans, they truly make a difference.
Yeah. And, you talk about everybody being out on the berm and how full it is and everything. A lot of that are going to be young girls that are, maybe getting their first taste of softball, but what Courtney Deifel has done for this program, talk about the impact that has on growing the game in the state. I mean, you still do coaching with young players now, and what kind of impact does this have on maybe some future Razorbacks down the road?
It has a huge impact. I mean, where she started from when she stepped foot on campus and where the softball program is now is like, it's unrecognizable, from where it was. Like, it's leaps and bounds better and more popular. And it's simply amazing what she's done. I mean, there's probably not a little girl in Arkansas that steps foot on the field that doesn't know about the Razorbacks, doesn't know about Coach Deifel, doesn't know about the team, that doesn't want to be a Razorback. Like, every team that she's had, it makes little girls want to go there and play. And I think that, like, being a past player, that's one of the best compliments you can get, is like, my little girls want to be where you were, or want to play where you played, and want to do what you do. And she's built that. Like, she deserves almost all the credit, because, you know, she's made people want to be Razorbacks and want to be a part of that team, which is so cool. And it absolutely has grown the game. It's grown the game in this state, because obviously that's what I can speak for. But little girls, they love the Razorbacks. Like, I just had a little girl come up to me today, and she brought a little trading card that had one of the Razorback players on it. And she's like, look what I got. Was literally so excited about a trading card that had a player on it. And it's just little things like that that happen to me all the time. And it's just so cool to see. It gives me chills, because once upon a time, nobody knew about the Razorback softball program. So yeah, she's done amazing things for it.
I'm kind of hogging all the questions here, so I'm gonna hand it off to Zach and let Zach throw some questions at you now.
No, you're good. Hey, what, Braxton, I wanted to ask you, you know, playing in the postseason is a big deal for the softball team, because, again, number one team in the country. They seem to be getting hot at the right time, like you said. When we have that atmosphere, and whether it be at Georgia for the SEC tournament or in Oklahoma City, does that do something for this team playing away from Bogle in a hostile atmosphere?
Yeah, I think it does. But I mean, they have two of, I would say, the biggest road series wins in the SEC. They won at Florida and they won at Tennessee. And Florida was the number 2 ranked team when they played Tennessee. I'm not sure, in the top 5. And those are 2 road series that they win. And playing in Knoxville, Florida is tough. Playing in Knoxville is very hard. And so I think that, you know, is great. And then obviously Texas A&M was number 1 or number 2 when they played at there, and they won that series too. So they have huge road series that I think has prepared them for the postseason. Hopefully they don't have to be away from home. I don't think they will be until Oklahoma City. But obviously that atmosphere is unlike anything else. So I think just being in the SEC and having to play in those hostile environments away from home does them a lot of good. So when they get to Oklahoma City, they're prepared for it.
If you guys got a question or comment for Braxton, hit us up in the Camp Productions live fan feedback. MC, you know how we got the hog pen over at Baum Walker, right?
Right.
I think we need to name the berm over at Bogle.
Yeah.
Braxton, you got any ideas what we could name it?
Gosh, I don't know. We need to come up with something like the Bogle berm, or I don't know. We'll have to think about that. We do need to come up with something, though. I mean, all the home runs land out there. Like, the berm is becoming really popular. Like, it seems to me that's where everyone is wanting to sit. It's a lot of fun out there. They got the food trucks and like the snow cones out there. You know, they do fun stuff like every weekend. So yeah, we need to come up with something for it.
I think we're going to assign Loki to that task.
There you go.
He's very creative. We'll put it that way.
So you mentioned the series win at Tennessee. That's who's up next tomorrow, I believe, at 1:00. What needs to happen tomorrow? You mentioned the fast start. Anything in particular outside of a quicker start offensively?
Gosh, offensively, last time they did amazing. I mean, they showed a graphic today during their game where they outscored them like 17-6, 17-5, maybe. So offensively, I don't know that I would change a whole lot, but you can expect Tennessee to probably change their game plan as far as pitching goes. So, you know, hitters can expect to be attacked a little bit different probably than they were in their first matchup. But they're the professionals. They're gonna be totally fine. Coach Gasso has done amazing with the hitters. Coach Michael, Coach Scheifel, they're all great. They're gonna be well prepared. Obviously looking for a little bit of a faster start. And expecting offensively to probably be attacked a little bit different than they were whenever they played in Knoxville.
So I'm not real familiar with Tennessee. Is there 1 or 2 players on their team that we need to try to look to contain or shut down?
So offensively, I don't know that they have one standout. They had a transfer come in from Oklahoma. Nugent is her name, and Sophia Nugent. She's been doing pretty well and kind of catching fire here lately. But their pitcher, Carlin Pickens, is actually the girl who broke the record for the fastest pitch ever recorded at 78.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, she pitches for them. So could probably expect to see her. She's their ace, so I would assume they're going to throw her first. They could change things up, but you can expect some heat coming in there offensively. And then as far as defensively for us, I would say we're going to attack them the same way we did last time because you had success with it. Don't fix it if it's not broke. So pitchers will probably continue to do the same thing they did last time. And then I would say the Sophia Nugent girl is probably somebody that you don't want to let beat you. So you're a little more careful with her and then attack the others in the lineup.
All right, I'm gonna throw it around here to Dylan, our executive producer extraordinaire. Dylan, what do you got for Braxton?
I just got like one quick question. Have you ever seen someone in softball get the Barry Bonds treatment? Which I'm claiming that right now, by the way. I said this 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago on our show, he made the comparison to Barry Bonds, and then all of a sudden we start seeing it all over social media with the walks per at bats and everything else. So somebody was watching.
Definitely. But have you ever seen anybody in softball get that type of treatment?
Well, honestly, I don't know that I've ever seen it to the extent that they have treated Bri. We've seen the comparisons too. Jocelyn Allo comes to mind whenever I think about big home run hitters because she's hit, the most in the last few years. And her walks are way less than what Bri's getting. So honestly, no, I've not. And clearly they maybe need to start walking her more because they had to pitch to her once. And we see today what happened. Grand slam, absolutely demolished. So.
Yeah. When she walked up to the plate, my bad, D-Man. She walked up to the plate and bases were loaded. I'm like, this one's gone.
It's over. I mean, I knew one way or another, the game's over.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just one of those things. It's like,
my bad, D-Man. Go ahead.
It's like a Disney moment just set itself up right there. It's like Barry Bonds got walked with the bases loaded one time down by one, but they didn't have that opportunity to do that, which is insane that it actually happened. But that's really all the question I had for you.
All right, I'll throw another one at you. And go ahead. I'm going to save mine.
I'm actually gonna swerve away from the Razorbacks for a minute, and I want to get her thoughts on the first inaugural. I'm gonna butcher the initials. The pro softball league that they just had.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't. Is it? What is it? It's the USA or UA?
AUSL.
AUSL.
Yeah.
I don't know how to spell Braxton. If you haven't,
we're trying with him.
It's a slow process.
So, yeah, I think it's very cool. I think what they did with the golden tickets where they kind of went campus to campus, I think that's very cool. That's good marketing. It gets people interested, putting their name out there. And it was kind of like an exciting thing, like who's going to get the next one. So it was really, really cool marketing strategy for them. And I think it's cool that they've expanded and they're kind of doing it a little bit different. In the past, they had their 4 teams, I think, still 4 teams, but they had their 4 teams and they drafted every week. And it was kind of like on a point system where the people who performed the best, like the top 4, got to be captains and they drafted their team each week. So now it's a little different where they're actually drafting the seniors to a set team and they're going to travel and play. So it is a little more of a professional league, so to speak, with the different locations and the different teams. So that's very exciting to see. So yeah, I'm excited to see how it turns out. I think the draft was very cool how they had the watch parties. Because to be honest, softball deserves that. Like, it's a growing sport. There's so many seniors that would love to go on and play professional. So I'm excited to see that league hopefully grow and reach new heights. I think that would be awesome.
All right. So any chance 2-5 comes out of retirement for this new league? Not to put you on the spot or anything, but we got to ask it.
Way to go, MC.
There's no way I'm coming out of retirement. I am done. I probably couldn't even hit a softball anymore. I teach it every day, but I have not picked up a bat and hit. So that's out of the cards for me.
All right. So while you're talking about the coaching aspect, talk a little bit about XPT, and then I think Dylan's got one more question before we wrap it up with you.
Yeah, Yeah, so I have a facility. Me and my sister have a facility here in Bono that we work at. We opened it up right after I graduated, like the February after I graduated, which was perfect timing. And yeah, we just bring young kids in here. We give lessons, like individual lessons, small group, and we're just here to build a love for the game and also work on your skill set, your mechanics to hopefully just build the game, build the skill level around Northeast Arkansas. And gosh, there has been a tremendous need for it in this area, partly because the game is growing. Everyone is wanting to get their kid in to develop them and become better softball players, which I absolutely love. And so it's been really cool for me and my sister to do this together. And get all these little kids in here. We get teams in here to practice, teams in here to work on their speed and agility, just all different aspects of the game. And so it's been really fun. It's kept me involved in the game enough. And I absolutely love breaking it down to the intricate small details. That's my favorite part of it. And just to have a small impact on these kids to grow the game until they love the game, to build their confidence up, because that's obviously a huge part of softball and baseball. Has a very high failure rate in the game. And so just to kind of talk about that, because I've been there, I've done it, the best of the best and the low worst of worst. So it's been really, really fun. And yeah, it's called XBT here in Bono, and me and my sister do softball lessons.
NEA representing. I like it. So you got a Facebook page. I'm sure we can find you on Facebook. Just go search for XPT.
Yes, that's exactly right. Me and my sister, Braxton and Heather, we have Facebooks, and then XPT has their own Facebook page where you can kind of check out our facility. You can message if you have more questions, want to get your kids in or whatever it might be.
All right, we got one more question. I'm gonna let D-Mad take us home here with this last question.
Okay.
All right.
So I grew up playing baseball. Playing being the operative word. Somebody would argue that I sat a lot, but that's beside the point. I just want to know, because I never felt this. We had Chris Lanzilli on, and I feel like I asked him this question too. What's that feeling like where, you see the ball coming in and it just looks like a beach ball? Because I've never seen that feeling, but how does that work?
Hey, I will say, gosh, it's hard to explain it. So what's funny is I had texted Bri a little while ago and kind of congratulated her on her season before she broke the record, because I knew it was going to happen and whatnot, and just kind of reached out, and she was like, I don't even know how I've hit this many. And I'm like, honestly, I kind of felt the same way. Like it is coming in like a beach ball, but like you can't explain it. It's just like everything's clicking. Your mechanics are clicking. Your timing is perfect. Like it just looks so big coming in there. You can see every seam spinning on the ball. It's just like a different locked in. It's crazy. I don't really know how to explain it besides everything's clicking, and it's like the ball's in slow motion when it's coming. And usually it doesn't last super long. The game of softball is so hard. Like it's literally crazy that you're hitting a 70-mile-an-hour softball with your bat. Same thing for baseball. When you think about it, it's crazy. But when you've worked on it for so long, it's just like second nature. And yeah, it's the best way I can describe it is it's like it's happening in slow motion, and you're literally seeing the seams on the ball spin, and it looks like a beach ball coming in there. So yeah, that's my best. Yeah, that's my best explanation, I guess.
I guess that's kind of how we felt when we reached out to you, and then Bri comes up today and hits the walk-off home run, and we were sitting in our production meeting the other day talking about, all right, softball's earned the right to start off the show. Yes. And I was like, you know what? Let me reach out to Braxton, see if she'd be interested in coming back on and talking a little softball. And then lo and behold, Bri goes and does what she does today, and then the team moves on, and it just we were just kind of in our zone, of having our beach ball moment. So I'm glad it all worked out.
Yeah, everything was clicking. There you go. Yeah.
Braxton, thank you so much for coming in and joining us and representing. And, it's always great to have a former Razorback legend join us anytime. You have an open invite. Hopefully we can bring you back soon and be talking about a trip over to OKC.
Yes, hopefully so. That's the goal. Thank you guys so much for having me. I would love to come on anytime.
Appreciate it.
And that's always fun having
boy. All right.
Having Braxton on, man. I just love getting her take on everything.
NEA product, man.
Yeah.
NEA product. Yeah. Her facility is about 5 miles from my house.
I was watching that game. I was actually listening to the game while I was at work, and the scoreless inning. And then she walks up, and you can tell that she knew she was going to win this thing. Talking about Bri. You knew she was going to.
Well, I mean, yeah. What are they going to do? My favorite part of that, and I meant to mention this to Braxton, and I just completely forgot. My favorite part of that was the crowd shots of the Georgia fans before she hit the home run, because they were all just like,
they knew.
Surrender Cobra. I mean, they knew what was coming, and it was so beautiful.
My favorite one was right after she hit it. That one Georgia fan just sat there like this.
Yeah. Well, and what makes that so funny is that we as Hog fans at one point or another have been on the other side of that coin. To be on this side for once was awesome.
Yeah. All right, we're going to step away for a break. On the other side of the break, I'm going to pull the brooms out. You're listening to Inside the Hawg Pen. Coming right back.
Meeks Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Meeks Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Meeks Design.
Hey, Hog fanatics. We at Inside the Hawg Pen are thrilled to announce that SeatGeek is now a sponsor. As brand ambassadors, we're excited to share SeatGeek as a ticket app that simplifies the ticket buying process for all your favorite events. They provide a 0 to 10 score for each ticket, with green indicating a good deal and red indicating a not so good deal. As a special offer, Hog fanatics can get $20 off their first ticket purchase by using the code INSIDEHOGPEN. Check out our socials for the link, and remember to use the code INSIDEHOGPEN.
Attention Razorback fans and local businesses. Are you ready to reach the most passionate Arkansas sports fans out there? Introducing Inside the Hawg Pen, not your normal Razorback talk show. We're fans first and don't try to hide it. No agendas, no propaganda. At Inside the Hawg Pen, we call it like we see it. And now we're looking for sponsors to join the team. This is your chance to put your brand in front of thousands of loyal Razorback fans who live and breathe Arkansas sports. From small businesses to major brands, we have sponsorship packages tailored just for you. So let's grow together and make Inside the Hawg Pen bigger and better. Don't miss out. Call 501-416-4331 or email us today at insidethehogpen@gmail.com and become a proud sponsor of Inside the Hawg Pen.
It's time to step back inside the Hog Pen to the Meeks Design Studios.
Hi, welcome back to Inside the Hawg Pen. All right, I can't find my broom anywhere.
Brooms are in order, man. I should have brought mine up here too, but
I can't find mine anywhere. I got to
I
switch.
think they're all in Fayetteville right now.
I think they're all in Fayetteville. But hey,
the wife left on mine a while ago. I don't know what happened to it. So.
You're in trouble, not me.
She's not watching, so I'm good.
You know what? I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm just going to leave that one alone. No, look, I got to do this, D. All right. I got to break the streak of calling you right every damn week we do this. Now I get to give it to MC. When can I be right for once?
I can't take full credit for mine because
go ahead and take it.
Because I was saying it in a sarcastic manner when I said it. I mean, and they just happened to take it to heart. So, you know.
Now I will say this. Texas. Did they forget to run how to base run? Did they forget how to run the bases?
Hey, we saw better base running at Joe Matt Campbell Park last night for my boys' opening night of baseball than we saw in that game.
I saw that and went, the hell?
I mean, well, and what makes it even funnier, it was two of their everyday players that did it, and Schlossnagel immediately pulled them out of the game. I mean, he immediately pulled them and put their butts on the bench.
Oh, yeah. I have an audio.
I was thinking when it happened, I was sitting there like, there's no way this happened. And for the number one team in the country, still the number one team, by the way, different subject.
That's a different rant that we'll get to in a little bit. Yeah.
The number one team in the country can't do something a peewee team, literally a peewee team.
They did not
always have what is the first base coach doing?
Yeah.
What is he doing? That's just as much on him.
I agree. It is. And nobody's brought that up. Everybody brought up the fact that the runners took off, but part of your responsibility at the first base coach is to communicate, hey, there's only one out. There's only one out, and you do it before the ball's hit. So
this is what base and a third base coach says. Hey, ball on the ground, you're gone. Hey, ball behind you, you're gone. Hey, ball in the air, hold on. But even the fact that it's a foul ball, what?
Yeah.
Why?
That kind of reminds me of God. I don't remember what year that was when they were down. Arkansas was down in Little Rock. I want to say it was either 19 or 20 because Kirstad was still here, and he was headed for home and just kind of veered off. Like he just walked off the baseline. It's like, I don't think I'm going to go home. I'm going to go to the dugout.
Well, and you got to give also the kudos goes to, I think it was Gabe. Was Gabe Frazier the one playing second base? Because Reese had kind of come up with Helfrich up there to, he'd kind of come to play the ball, and then Helfrich called him off. So he wasn't at the bag. And I think it was Gabe Frazier that went over and covered first, where he could just toss it to it. So, I mean, kudos to him for being right on top of everything. And when they took off, I mean, you could tell by the announcers, it even caught Carl Ravitch and KP off guard as to how something like that could happen.
That was funny. I'm sorry. Their commentary, I'm not a big fan of commentary sometimes, but that was funny.
Yeah, that was good.
Head on. Like, they said everything about that. Like, I'm thinking in the back of my head, I might pull these guys if this happened on my team. And lo and behold, come out of commercial. They've replaced these two players. Still don't know their name.
I even said on the show Friday on the radio show, it just I was like, somebody had said something about peaking, and it's not peaking if you're getting hot at the right time.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
What did I say to Chris Lanzilli the other day? Mm-hmm. What did I say, Zach? Do it.
I don't want to talk about it.
I said,
no, I'm not.
We were, I'm fine with us like losing those 3 series. I'm not happy with it, but I was fine with it so long as they get the bruises taken out now and they figure out how to win after.
Did I not?
Guess what? What?
You know what, D-Mad, you weren't alone because Carolyn's waiting on us to put the ones up for her because, and I remember this because she came after me and I will take my crow and I will put a little hot sauce on it and eat it. Carolyn says, I'm waiting for you guys to admit that I told you they were going to be okay. All right. They bounced back very nicely. About obviously the best bounce back you can get is to come back and sweep the number one team in the country and get to throw this in the process of doing it. So
look, I've been playing I told you so with Carolyn all week. So I'm not gonna
she's also okay. She's correcting me again here. Said Frazier didn't play that weekend. I don't remember who it was at second base then, if it wasn't Frazier.
It was Kozel.
Yeah, it's
Kozel. Okay.
Let's talk about
Kozel
oh my God. He's
hey, before we get to Kozel, we have royalty in the house, boys.
Oh.
Howdy, Casey.
Okay, before wait. Okay. You're gonna might have to edit this. I don't know. But I feel like a little bit of a bonehead. Let's just put it like that. Because I forgot Casey's birthday last week. So I'm gonna go ahead. I know, right? I'm terrible. So
God, Zach, come on.
I know. And I go ahead. I know. Happy birthday, Casey, belated. May 3rd was her birthday. So happy birthday to one half of ITHP royalty.
Yep.
But let me get you guys' take on this. Okay, you've got two series, and I'm gonna steal this question from MC because he posed it to me earlier this week, right after the sweep. You've got one series left. Would you rather
one on the road and one at home?
One on the road, one at home. Would you rather have LSU on the road or win against Tennessee at home? Here's my take.
Go to Alex Box and take a series, or win against Tony V.
Or win against Tony V.
And that's a tough question because we are cursed at Alex Box ever since that damn possum.
I'll just say
We've been cursed over there. So like, also, you want to shut up that dugout over there. They're getting as bad as the Ole Miss boys, How much
I still think Ole Miss is worse, D. I still think
at least Tennessee can back it up.
That's where I was going to go.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is not quite as yappy this year because they're not as good as they have been in the past. But yeah, for me, this is a no-brainer. If I can only win one of the next two series, I want what Carolyn's talk about with the all orange sweep.
Do you think? Okay, realistically though, I mean, look at it this way. Okay, Tony V. It's Tony V versus the GOAT.
Yeah,
that's like John Calipari versus
it's teacher and the student.
Dude at Kentucky. Say the guy at Kansas.
No, Pitino.
It's Pitino, Rick Pitino.
Yeah.
That's what I was. See, this is why MCing or me are like this, man. 4 years running, baby. We're like this.
I just didn't want you to wear a Pope hat. That's all I didn't want you to do.
You ain't right for that.
Oh man.
But okay, seriously though, I mean, if you look at the two series, I mean, when it boils down to it, Tennessee's the one you want. Tennessee means more, at least to me. I would love to win them both. So. I'd love to win them both. But when it boils down to it, give me Tennessee at home, regular series finale with a spot, top 8 seed, increase your, I mean, you're obviously going to be an 8 seed, but increase that seeding with that series.
Do you guys care anything at all about winning the regular season title? Because we're 2 games back with 6 to play.
I don't give a damn about it. I don't care. I'll be honest with you. I don't care about the regular season title. I don't care about the tournament title. The only title I care about is in Omaha.
I'm going to say this. I think it would be cool to win it. I do. Mm-hmm. But if you look alongside the fence on Baum-Walker Stadium, I don't think they have anything to do with the championship, the conference champions anymore.
Yeah.
They used to have it up there. They used to have West Division champs.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I think you're right.
I don't think it's out there anymore.
I don't think it is either.
It's not. But let me ask you this, okay? And I think I posed this last year when we had the very same conversation this time last year. I don't think D was part of it though. So with him being the base, and he, by the way, for those of you that don't know, D has now become a permanent fixture on the show starting next season. He's our baseball guru. And I just learned that just a few weeks ago. When you look at the history books, D, and MC, go ahead and jump in here too. When you look at the history books, year by year, okay, what's the one thing people are going to remember about that season? Is it the West Division title? No. Is it a conference title? No. Is it a tournament title?
How it ended.
No. It's how and where you ended.
Mm-hmm.
I've been telling y'all for the past couple of weeks, the last year's ending has been burned out of my memory. I still think we lost to TCU last year.
Dude, that was 2 years ago.
Exactly. Don't get me started.
Hey, I live a little bit further, so I've got a heads up now.
But I the past 2 years, we haven't even made it out of the regional.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's happy with that. DBH isn't happy about that. Lanzilli's been he's been critical in his own way about situations, but he knows the expectation at Arkansas is Omaha or nothing. We didn't start the Omaha mascot thing for nothing.
Yeah.
We were the Hogs. We were there every year.
I want to, Matt, I want to jump over to the Cam Productions Live fan feedback. Put Eric Jernigan's comment up there. It says, once again, Wood was dominant except for that one home run that got away from him. Is he shaping up to be our ace? Look,
Man, he looked good. He looked really good.
Let me do it all the time.
The only reason why I will say no about being the ace is because, oh Lord, Zach Root. I mean,
I am Root.
Well, everybody just figured out about him. He is a different form of Chris Sale. Chris Sale's more of the sidearm, but where Zach Root's more of the 3/4 slot. But he does the same thing. He's throwing those sliders at you, and it's going to hit a right foot, or it's going to hit the right-handers in the back foot.
Yeah,
because of how much they break. But it's looking like a strike. It's looking like a strike, and then all of a sudden the bottom falls out of it, and that's what Chris Sale has made a ton of money on. Yeah. And the fact that you can back that up with mid-90s fastball, it's not fair. That's not fair at all.
Hey, Pete, do me a favor for those of us.
I got you.
No. This is actually directed at you. When you explain to the fans that don't know sidearm, 3/4 arm, explain what you mean by that.
So a sidearm throw is out here. The normal throwing motion is about right here. That's the 3/4 slot.
Right.
When you're teaching how to throw baseball, you'll have a lot of, I guess I'll do it left-handed so you can see better. But you'll have a lot of coaches saying, I want a right arm. That's over the top. That's a 12 o'clock. That's where you get your 12 to 6 curveballs because they're coming straight down. You go over here, that's more sidearm. Or that's more like 3/4 slot, which is more natural for about 99% of people. And then you have the sidearms, and then you have the submarine guys. Those are just weird guys.
Well, anything other than overarm is weird to me. Well,
as you start to get more experienced in baseball, my dad taught me over the top. But, as you get more deep into playing, it stops coming like this and it starts going like that because you can just get more pace on the ball. It's a little bit more whippy. If you see those pictures of the MLB pitchers and they're weird, it's weird to look at when you see a guy pitching because their arms like this. Yeah. You just see every vein. Yeah. It's just because they can get more whip action and you can get a lot more behind the ball.
Yeah, but you can also get more damage that way, can't you?
It puts more torque on your arm for sure.
There's safe ways to doing everything. That's the best way I can answer that.
All right, put my boy Justin Ashmore up there. He's been a good friend of the show for a while. He says, I have a friend that is a diehard LSU fan. We always seem to have that one, right?
I'm sorry.
He's afraid of us going into the box. The, quote, arrogant LSU fans are giving our Hogs respect. Hell, everyone in the country loved us sweeping Texas besides Texas.
Yeah, nobody likes Texas.
Yeah. Nobody likes Texas.
Along that lines. Go ahead.
No, I just have a comment about Texas that I can't say on air.
Well, I think we all do. But along
I have a couple, actually.
along that line, do you guys and I saw some of this on social media after the 3-game series was over with Texas, but I think the fans in the Hog Pen got in the head of Texas a little bit between the outfielders, because there was one of the outfielders that's also a football player was apparently mouthing. He was spending more time mouthing at the fans in the pen than he was paying attention to the game. And then also, Texas had their little, home run celebration that everybody started mocking them with. And I think they're not used to playing in an environment like that. They hadn't been, Arkansas and Texas hadn't played a conference game against each other in 34 years, and coming to George Cole Field back in the day, going there versus coming to Baum Stadium, there's no comparison. And I just don't know that they were mentally prepared for the atmosphere that they walked into.
I think we lost. Yeah, I think we lost.
Yeah, I'll compare. I'll keep on going on that because as I told Lanzilli, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to disrespect your experience as a Razorback. There's nothing like Texas. There's nothing like Texas. MC, I think we got you back, bud.
I didn't even realize I dropped out, man.
Bro, you locked up faster than them base runners that Texas had over the weekend.
That's pretty bad. But
I just came up with that, by the way. I'm quick when I need to be. Hey, put Baxter's comment up there because I like what he's saying. Looking to the future, everyone needs to be watching this kid. Tyson Meeks, 51 pitches, 10 strikeouts, 1 hit by pitch, no walks.
And that just happens to be the young man in his profile pic right there. So
look out, Tyson.
Shout out Tyson.
Now, the only thing I'm going to say about that is he's wearing the wrong colors.
Well, his Chiefs team that he played on. We got. I don't know who the coaches are, but we got to talk to him about that powder blue color.
Well, that's your backup team, dude.
Not in baseball, it ain't.
Uh-huh.
So who's your backup team in baseball?
Baseball? Ooh.
Put him on the spot, why don't you?
Golly. I mean, y'all are going to hate me for this, but I mean, Tony's kind of growing on me, man.
Hey,
look at him like that.
Matt, we're going to have to do some reevaluating on our on-air talent here, buddy. I think we need to call an emergency meeting and discuss MC's future.
Oh, man. But I got a buddy in Knoxville right now that's losing his mind if he's watching.
Well, no, I mean, if you think about it, though, this is what we've wanted to see out of this team. Now, Texas didn't do themselves any favors, but you have got to give credit where credit is due. And this Arkansas team, for 3 days, for 3 games, looked about as complete and as dominant as I have seen them all freaking year.
Yeah, this is what we expected this team to look like.
I said freaking, by the way, not the other word.
Well, that's what focus will do. You know, at the end of the day, you know, everybody's been talking about the Texas series,
Yeah.
And the players started to feel that energy and they could feed off of it. That's what Von Walker can do. I'm going to put Carolyn's comment up here. DVH said the fans definitely impacted. He also went on to say that he feels like they're walking into that every time they go onto the road. It's kind of like when Kentucky basketball was running around with Calipari and everybody was giving Kentucky their best. But DVH came back to that and said, you know, we need that more against Tennessee. We need that more against and just rattled off like all the different teams. He said it can't just be a one weekend thing. And honest to God, you had on a Thursday night, everybody complains about Thursday night games. You had over 10,000 people at the Thursday night game. It doesn't matter about the opponent. It should just be about making an impact.
I see. Here's the thing: you're gonna have, and this is the sad part about all this, is that you have the old school fans who still think Texas is the only rival, and they're not. They're not, and so that's why you have so many people show up and show out for Texas, whether we're playing them in football, whether we're playing them in basketball, or even baseball.
But how spoiled have we become in baseball to where we look at a crowd of 7,500 or 8,000 people on a Thursday night and think, my God, this crowd sucks. This is awful. You know, when there's D1 schools in Power 4 conferences that don't have 7,500 or 8,000 people on a Saturday at 2:00 in the afternoon when it's 75 and sunny. You know, I mean, we're spoiled. Kyle Peterson made the comment he was on the Daily Hog Pod with Matt Zimmerman, I believe was who it was. But he was talking about, he said, man, you Hog fans are spoiled. He said, you guys have won so much that when you drop one that you guys think you shouldn't drop, and meaning a series, you know, he said, everybody gets upset. He said, but you're spoiled. And it's very similar to the way, you know, Nolan Richardson talked about this in the 90s, man. He talked about that sometimes the team would get flack if they didn't beat somebody bad enough. And Nolan made the comment. He's like, well, you know, you build the monster likes to eat. And when the monster doesn't get everything he wants to eat, he's going to complain. And I think it's very similar right now in baseball as to what we're dealing with. You know, we lost, what was it? 3 series in in a row that we lost.
3 straight series.
Yeah, 3 straight series. First time since 2016 that had happened. That in itself, the fact that it had been 9 years since we lost 3 consecutive series is enough for most people. We should sit back and go, wow, that's quite a run.
And if you listen to some of the, you have podcasters across Twitter, talking about just specifically baseball, and you have a ton of them just come back and say, Arkansas is literally the deepest team. Mm-hmm. And the Texas series proved that. I've seen posts saying, Arkansas has got the bullpen strength. They got the starting pitching. They've got the hitting. They got the fielding. Like Vahiba Aloy, I
just give the man the golden spikes right now.
Hats off, bro.
Give it to him.
Hats
just
off,
give it to him,
bro.
Don't even vote. Don't even vote.
We were talking about
damn thing.
We were talking about seeing a beach ball. Yeah, he's there. And also, he's a vacuum.
Yeah.
You see a ball get hit almost to left field, and somehow, some way, he turns that double into a single because he just gets there. There was a hit in I think it was the last game of the series. It was just a piddly dink, just ground ball. They shifted over to the right, but somehow he got to it, and that ground ball would have been a 2-bagger if he didn't grab it.
Well, he has Vahiba, of all the things that he has done, he has now made it a full-on debate about who the best shortstop is, because prior to Aloy getting here, it was Jalen Battles.
Yeah.
So hands down, Jalen Battles. And now you got to look at it and say, oh, man, Aloy might have overtaken him. And I love me some Jalen Battles. Absolutely love me some Jalen Battles. But what Aloy is doing is just on a different level right now. And I hope and pray that he can just continue to see the beach ball like he's been seeing the rest of the way through, because that is what has let them down the last 2 years in the postseason, is not being able to get the big hit when they had to have it. That's what hurt them a couple years ago against TCU. That's what hurt them last year. I guess it was in that SEMO game where they had the guy throwing he was throwing ephus pitches. He was throwing 65 miles an hour, and our timing was so off that we couldn't make it work. We could hit Paul Skeens all day, but we couldn't hit the guy throwing 65 mile an hour BP, because
we're so used to those high mile an hour pitches that we throw a slow one. It doesn't work. Hey, I did some research, and UGA, A&M, and Florida were the ones that we lost back to back. I'm okay losing those because it humbled the team, and they kind of hit the reset button, because look at what they've done since that 3-game skid. Look at what they've done since.
2 of those teams are top 5 now. Yeah. And Florida is, I think, top 15.
Florida's always good. I mean, Florida, O'Sullivan, I see a lot of similarities between he and Dave and how they run their program, and the fact that when it comes down to the end of the season, O'Sullivan's going to have Florida there every year. I mean, it's just the way it is. You mentioned Georgia. I want to touch on something real quick that Justin says here. Am I the only one that feels kind of bad for Mississippi State? I mean, they've always been a respectable baseball program since I could remember. Last 2 seasons have been a dumpster fire. Now, the reason I said that in reference to Georgia was because I still think Wes Johnson is probably going to end up being the next coach at Mississippi State. I said that 2 or 3 weeks ago. He come out today and gave the whole, I have no interest in going to Starkville. My focus is on Athens. Okay, coach. How many times have we heard that from
he gave the coach answer of I'm leaving.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I want to change my backup team because I really like Wes Johnson. I like Wes Johnson.
Hold on, you can't jump shit. This is not the transfer portal.
Well, I know this is the time and day where you can just change teams at the drop of a hat. So my backup team is officially going to be where Wes Johnson is.
But here's the thing. Okay, look. Let's and I know we're going into ITHP overtime, and that's fine. That's how we do it here. Okay. Here's the thing. Tony Vitello or Wes Johnson for the next coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks when or if Dave ever retires?
Are you saying which one?
Which one out of the two? Which one?
You got to go Tony V.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing with Tony V. He's not coming. He is going to be the baseball version of Gus Malzahn and Jimmy Johnson. He's the one whose name is going to come up every time this job come open, if it ever does come open. But I don't think he will ever be the coach here. Wes Johnson, I think Wes would crawl from Athens or Starkville, either one, to take this job.
I don't think Tony Vitello fits Arkansas. That's my biggest problem with him.
I agree with you, Dylan.
Like, we've been.
If he wins, it won't matter.
What just
50
happened?
years of baseball at Arkansas, and we've had the same type of head coach with great outcomes. You get this guy, he's fiery and all that, but he might win a lot of games. I just don't think he would fit in at Arkansas. I think he would have to calm down if he came to Arkansas.
Correct me if I'm wrong, D. Didn't Norm DeBryan handpick DVH?
Yeah.
If I remember right.
Yep.
Well, and
Norm was about to retire, and DVH was bringing up Nebraska, and DVH really didn't want to come because of all the work he put in. I say really didn't want to come. Not that he didn't want to come to Arkansas. He didn't want to leave what he has already been building.
Right.
And so whenever Norm was going to retire, there's that old Hogs Plus clip of apparently whenever he was walking out, Frank Broyles yelled at Norm DeBryan, "Well, you think we can get Dave here?" And I think Norm called Dave a couple of days before that, and it's like, "Man, I'm about to retire. They're going to call you." And I think he was a little hesitant, but, he's a Hog, so he's like, "I'm coming." Yeah. There's a good Hogs Plus episode for Norm DeBryan.
Hey, I know we're going to hit ITHP overtime, but we've got to get to the football team because we found out some things about the football team that are a little interesting. But we're going to go take a break and catch our breath. You're listening to Inside the Hawg Pen. Back right after this.
Attention Razorback fans and local businesses. Are you ready to reach the most passionate Arkansas sports fans out there? Introducing Inside the Hawg Pen, not your normal Razorback talk show. We're fans first and don't try to hide it. No agendas, no propaganda. At Inside the Hawg Pen, we call it like we see it. And now we're looking for sponsors to join the team. This is your chance to put your brand in front of thousands of loyal Razorback fans who live and breathe Arkansas sports. From small businesses to major brands, we have sponsorship packages tailored just for you. So let's grow together and make Inside the Hawg Pen bigger and better. Don't miss out. Call 501-416-4331 or email us today at insidethehogpen@gmail.com and become a proud sponsor of Inside the Hawg Pen. Are you
all right? Welcome back to Inside the Hawg Pen.
Talk with no fluff or agendas.
Well, that's new. How many times we're going to hear my voice? What? Come on now. What's up, everybody? Welcome back into the Inside the Hawg Pen. All right. So we've talked softball. We've talked baseball. And now we get to talk my favorite segment.
Oh, God. Do we have to talk football?
We have to, because here's the thing. They brought in they've been quiet, and that's scary if you're an Arkansas fan. There's not a lot of hype going on right now. There wasn't a spring game. You're not hearing a lot out of camp, which scares the ever-loving hell out of me. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the last time that it was this quiet, we kind of went on a little bit of a run. Everybody remember the Sugar Bowl?
I know you're not going to compare this team to the Sugar Bowl team.
No. I am not comparing. Look,
okay, all right.
Toilet bowl team. All right, let's just apathy has set in with this team right now. All right, apathy has set in.
I'm apathy.
Hi, apathy. Here's the problem. They're bringing in a couple of guys that might make a difference on the offense. Yeah. Okay.
No, I will agree with that. There have been some very nice portal additions that have not gotten a lot of talk, but they may not be the superstar kind of guys, but I feel like that they are filling needs and they're filling voids from what was missing last year. It's kind of like what Cal did with the two big guys that he brought in off the portal. They were, fairly decent names and fairly decent hype around them, but they're going to fill the void of what was missing from this last team. And I think that's what, whoever you want to give responsibility to for bringing these guys in, since they're on the offensive side of the ball, I think Coach P Petrino gets a lot of the credit there because Pittman has said that, hey, this is Bobby's show on offense. So
well, the other thing that you got, and my other problem I have with this football team, okay, we can get all the receivers in the world, all right, we can get all the transfers in the world, but can Taylor Green complete a damn pass?
Yes, he's in a Bobby Petrino offense in the second year.
Yeah. I think you're gonna see a different Taylor Green from what you saw last year, just simply because it's the second year in the offense, and I think you're going to see a very significant jump in his decision making and his, I guess, in-game IQ would be a good way to put it.
I just want to see him more aggressive when he throws the ball.
I just want to see him play on time. That was his biggest problem last year.
Yes.
Shout out DJ Williams for breaking that down on
no doubt
multiple occasions. But like being late on throws was his biggest problem last year. And I'm not a football guru as Bobby Petrino is, but I'm not dumb either. Right. So if I can see there's a problem, that dude saw it 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
He saw it as it happened. And, Bobby can dial up some plays. He is possibly one of the best play callers.
I agree.
Yeah. I give Lane his props, but he's one of the best play callers. A lot of the times last year there was plays to be made. It's just off schedule,
the right play was called. The execution just was not there. And I think that's the difference in being year one in a Petrino offense and year two.
Wait.
One example.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Okay. Look, the execution wasn't there. He ran 70 yards backwards to get 5 yards.
You won't see that this year.
When you have bullfighters up front going Olay and just letting the defensive line go right through, you kind of have to run for your life a little bit.
And then going to cry to media members about how the coach is coaching them and they're not respectful to them. Oh, boo. Who? Yeah. You are a 6'6", 300-pound baby.
Yeah.
Get over it. But the perfect play the perfect play of last year to kind of bring it all together of, the perfect play was called Oklahoma State in overtime. The wheel route.
The wheel route never fails, man.
Wait a minute. Weren't you at Boudreaux's when we were watching that game?
No.
Because I remember you and I having that conversation, and you called a play on a wheel route and said, watch this. And he hit it for a touchdown. I don't remember what game that was.
That was Auburn.
Who did that?
I think that was Auburn.
Well, that couldn't have been Auburn.
Listen,
that was the one.
Auburn is out of my memory.
Why is that?
This year. Never mind. Sorry. Go ahead.
Don't kill him, Ariana.
Yeah, I don't think she's watching either. So.
Oh, you better pray she ain't.
I do think we will see a different Taylor Green, especially now. We've added some pieces on the offensive line. If they have a pulse at all compared to what we had on the offensive line last year, I think Green will have a little better protection this time around, hopefully.
And you got guys coming in just from the offensive line's perspective. You got that 6'8" giant that came from
Shaq. Yeah.
He came from Oregon. You got a guy that was a day one starter at Georgia Tech. You got a guy that was a starter at UCF. I mean, we're replacing a lot. And our running back room is, with all that happened with Braylon Russell, he's still on the team. You see him and Taylor
end of the day,
Green.
He's still here. Yeah.
I thought he was in a portal.
He came back. Him and Taylor Green are going back and forth on Twitter about, being friends and whatnot. Love to see it. All that stuff had happened, whatever. He's still on the team. But you got Braylon Russell, you got AJ Green, and I think you got a speedster somewhere else, a little small guy, but I'm not going to be afraid of our running back room. I feel like, with the Bobby Petrino offense, it's going to be a lot of downhill running, and then you'll have someone going side to side. So after that, like you're going to have a lot of this next year, you're going to have a lot more QB designed runs. So he'll stop having all that happy feet when the passing game comes, because Bobby's not going to allow that happy feet stuff to happen again. And, we've got 2 quarterbacks out of the portal this year. Well, I guess we got one that left, but we're not going to talk about his name. Listen, Madden's a good name. Don't get me wrong. Madden is a good name.
I don't know. You kind of soiled that one. But
not for me, didn't.
At least it wasn't his last name, right?
Hey, there you go. But no, and the to kind of wrap things up, because I know we're over time here, but I'm not. Look, y'all know me. I last year drank the Kool-Aid. Thought we were going. I don't see 8 wins on this record on this schedule. I don't.
You're gonna have to win me. You're gonna have to literally win me back into camp because I'm.
You're waiting for mid-November, ain't you?
That's all I'm waiting on, man. Look at the smile that comes to my face when you mention November.
I'm calling it now. Final Four or national championship. I haven't decided yet. One of the two.
Calling it now.
Where's Final Four next year? We've talked about that, but I don't remember.
I think we talked about taking a trip.
2020.
Since we're okay, so it is
in North Carolina,
San Antonio.
Oh yeah, we're going.
Oh no, that's where it was this year. My bad.
Here's the thing. I know we're over, but with us talking a little bit of basketball, I got one more note to make, and I want to get MC's take on this first.
Okay.
$7 million man. Now here's the thing. Okay, you and I talk about this a lot off air. All right. He declares for the draft, but he puts a no contact tag on his draft profile thing, whatever. All right. How in the hell is he in contact with Florida for $7 million? They can't reach out to him. I thought
they can't reach out to players on rosters either, but they seem to do it.
Yeah. So okay, so this whole $7 million offer from Florida.
I've got a question for you when you get done explaining.
Okay, so all of this came about from the morning show that is comes out of Northwest Arkansas.
Rush to listen to it?
No, not a rush to listen to this. It's the one that comes prior to the rush.
Okay.
But so it originated there that allegedly there's a $7 million offer for Boogie to go to Florida. Jeff Goodman.
It was 4.
Well, it was 4. And then BM started talking about it being up to $7 million. So Jeff Goodman, who is Field of 68 and Goodman Hoops, he comes out, quote tweets what was put on Twitter by that morning show and says this is completely and utterly inaccurate. And I was going back to look for the tweet now where he put that out there, but I can't seem to find it. He tweets multiple times. And okay, here it is. I have found this here. College Basketball Report first put out that if 5-star Boogie Fland, Arkansas freshman Boogie Fland, withdraws from the NBA draft and returns to college, he could command up to $7 million from the reigning national champion Florida Gators, per Bo Mattingly on his morning show. Jeff Goodman quote tweets all this and says this is insanely inaccurate. So that brings up, who do you believe? Do you believe Jeff Goodman or do you believe Bo? Now, before you answer that, you also got to remember Jeff Goodman is one of the dudes that just absolutely despises anything Calipari, because he was the one that was always quick to point out every time Arkansas lost this past year.
Let me pose a question to you, MC. And I posed this to you the other day.
Yep.
All right. Say he's got $7 million on the table from the national champions.
Yep.
That's all good and well. That's more than he'd make in his rookie contract and probably in his next year's contract. All right. Who would you rather play for, the money or Calipari, and learn how to stay in the league a lot longer? It's Calipari. The answer is easy. It's Calipari all day.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what your motivation is. What's your motivation?
Calipari. All right, give me Calipari all day.
Now that's
one of those. If he says, "Hey man, I'm going to Florida," hey, slap him on the butt and say, "Hey man, it was a pleasure coaching you."
Yeah.
Hey,
You congratulate him. You tell him best of luck. You know, you give him the WWE speech, best of luck in your future endeavors. Go get that bag. If you can get $7 million from Florida, I wish you the best of luck in every game except one. So, because if you look at what Arkansas's got coming in, especially at the point guard position, and then also combine that with what they've got coming back. I mean, Darius Acuff was just voted the MVP of the Allen Iverson, All-Star game. And now, okay, this doesn't happen. Allen Iverson is not the type of guy that will go out and pick a young player and mentor him. Allen Iverson is mentoring Darius Acuff, who's coming to Arkansas next year, number 1 point guard in the country. So it's not like there's going to be a huge void at point guard if Boogie, whether he goes to the draft or whether he comes out of the draft and goes to Florida. We're going to be in good hands. We're going to be just fine.
But you and I have talked about this. If Boogie comes back, and I'd love to have Boogie back. I would. I feel like he kind of got cheated this year because of the injury. But with, like you said, with everybody coming in that's coming in already, where's the playing time going to come from?
Well, I mean, you're already going to have Acuff splitting time with DJ Wagner.
Yeah.
You've already got that.
What are your thoughts down there, man?
I was kind of reading what Carolyn said here. Kyle signed a point guard freshman phenom, so
that's
he already feels replaced. You know, we kind of talk about Cal in the same vein we talk about Nick Saban. You know, they believe in competition 100%. They're not just going to bring someone in and say, you're the guy, here's the ball. I think that is what made John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, all these people, just the great players that they were, is the fact that they're not going to – I'm not saying anything about it, Zach. But there's a sense of competition, If you're good enough to make it in the league, you better be better than him. That's the kind of and that's the kind of thing that Cal's going to sell. Cal. I mean, we call him PayPal Cal because he's going to pay his players.
Exactly.
He's going to, no matter where Boogie goes, he's going to have a good living.
Yeah,
but
at the end of the day, everybody wants to make the league.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a better shot just on track record alone if you play under Cal than you would Todd Golden, in my opinion.
I mean,
just my opinion. Because y'all because y'all said I was off the Calipari train last year. I'm trying to give the man.
I'm still digging for that evidence. You said he was washed.
You ain't found it. You ain't found it yet. You're not going to.
I have been looking hard.
Hey, y'all were talking about Cal paying his players. I'm going to share something here on the screen that we've got a player here that's going to get paid before he even gets to campus, because this is the rebrand of the rebrand of Reebok. Okay, you know who's over the basketball side of Reebok now? It's Allen Iverson and Shaq. They have taken over and are rebranding Reebok to try to get it back into the mix to compete with Nike like it once did. And they have already signed Darius Acuff to Reebok basketball. So obviously those two guys see something in this kid who's coming into Arkansas next year as the number 1 point guard in the country, or they wouldn't have signed him to their brand already. And to piggyback off that, how's that going to work? Because we're a Nike team. So how's this deal going to work?
I'm thinking it must be off court stuff only,
I guess.
Because I feel like they signed deals with the team that they have to wear Nike stuff, but I don't know. We're in the wild west right now,
right?
I'm gonna push back against what Carolyn said. Me and her are gonna go back and forth a little bit. I said that Cal brings in people and says, well, you better be better than that guy if you're going to play in the NBA. Mm-hmm. Well, she says, but the kids think they should just be handed the ball. And I mean, a lot of kids do. And
yes,
100%, you see it all over football, like with Madden Iama Iliava. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. I meant to keep that one in. My bad. But you know, the kids shouldn't be. I mean, like with that, you know, Cal even did with Billy Richmond this year. Apparently, Billy was about to blow up mid-year because he wasn't getting minutes.
Yeah,
but Cal just said, "Hey, you need to relax, find your role in this team." And guess what? Billy found his role and was able to do that and able to make a really solid push.
Yeah.
And so I don't doubt for a fact that Cal would go up to Boogie and say, "Hey, you better be better than him. There is no guaranteed minutes." Because look at TB. TB was our best player coming back. He was the only player coming back. But
right.
I mean, he was an athletic freak his first couple of years. And then all of a sudden he had a terrible year the year before. And then, you know, everybody was expecting him to play that just athletic freak role. And it didn't happen at the first, but he worked his way into the starting lineup.
Yeah. All right. Final comment of the night where they're going to wrap this up. Eric Jernigan says Boogie was supposed to be a one and done. The recruiting strategy was always to replace him after year one.
Yep. I agree.
I mean,
That's true.
That's true. That's true. All right. We're going to start wrapping it up. Final thoughts before we get out of here tonight, MC. We'll start with you.
Big series at LSU this weekend. I want to see how we come out of the Texas series. You know, we bounced back, got the sweep. I want to see what happens when you go down to Alex Box and we're on the other side of that hostile environment.
D-Mad? Oh, God.
All right.
For those of you that don't know, let me throw a disclaimer out there. When you see him smile like he's smiling now, be afraid. Be very afraid.
It's some sort of grin. I don't remember what the rest is, but it's some sort of grin. Just knee-jerk reaction, like when you put me on the spot talking about Arkansas and Ollie Gordon. I said Ollie Gordon was going to be held under a certain amount of yards. You know, I don't remember anything, but yeah, I'm going to say this. I'm going to give you a 2 for the football team. Top 25 offense, total offense.
Okay.
Taylon Green is going to be in the Heisman conversation for 7 weeks.
What?
Okay,
hey, man,
whatever you're drinking.
I don't make these things up.
Okay, whatever you're on, get off of it.
Or give me some, one or the other, because you're obviously on the good stuff.
Ain't no damn way. Ah, crap.
I mean, he threw it out there. You know, if y'all take issue with what he said, bring it to our social media pages. Let D-Mad know that either that you're putting the one up with him, or you think he's nuts. One or the other.
I think he's absolutely nuts, but he's, you know.
I am slightly crazy, but
hey, after last year and him saying, you know, the number of wins they were going to have, I have learned to just keep my mouth shut when it comes to football. That's what a basketball guy gets for trying to talk football. So I'll leave it be.
You're never going to let him live that down, are you? Keep pumping that ego, dude. Just keep pumping that ego.
All I got to say is I said 70-10. That's all I got to say. I didn't think we were going to shut out UAPB.
All right, next week, I'm going to be solo on this show running every damn. It'll just be me and Loki. That's it. No. All right, so final thought for me tonight. Hey, Mother's Day is next Sunday. Well, actually, this Sunday is Mother's Day, so make sure you guys take care of your mamas and your wives that are moms too. So, but man, I tell you, it's been a fun week. Glad to be back for my second week since on my little special assignment, and looking forward to many more. Got some big things coming down the pipe here at ITHP, so y'all stay tuned. Make sure you like, share, follow, subscribe, whatever other button you got to hit on whatever social media platform you're watching us from to make sure that you guys stay in touch with us. We've got another crazy episode coming up again next week of Inside the Hawg Pen. Until then, so long, everybody.
Thanks for watching this episode of Inside the Hawg Pen. Listen anytime on your favorite podcast provider, and be sure to follow us on all our social network channels.